Hello guys, welcome to this video. I trust you're all well. This video might be the first video I've uploaded to YouTube for a long time, so welcome back to the channel if you have seen my videos before, or welcome to the channel if you've never seen my videos before. Anyway, straight to the point. So this is something that I have been unsure how to express for some time. Basically, to give you a little backstory, I have spent a fair chunk of my adult life, past the age of about 21, 22, in solitude. Not in solitude entirely, but for someone who was quite extroverted as a young person, or at least was social, being at school all the time, being part of sports clubs, going out with friends, I kind of spent my young adult life spending a bit more time on my own. And I went to the extreme with this. I was like, you know what, I'm the type of person that does things, takes things to the extreme. So I took this to the extreme by doing a 10-day Vipassana. So for 10 days, for those of you that don't know what a Vipassana is a 10-day meditation retreat. It's not really a retreat. It's not something I was going to say it's not something you go and like see as a retreat and something you enjoy. However, I spoke to a few people before I started this 10-day Vipassana, and they said, oh, just doing it to get away from the girlfriend. And I was like, bro, we are in very different mindsets about this thing. I'm coming in with an intensity. I'm coming in with a real focus. I want to give this my all. I really want to see what I can get from this. And this guy was like, bro, I just want to get away from my girlfriend. And I was like, okay, fair. So people come to this for more than one reason. I'm not the only person in the world. I spent 10 days in silence. And for each of those days, I meditated for about 10 hours. So I was surrounded by about 50 other men in a hall, and we all sat there in silence, except from the guy who kept burping really loud. We all sat there in silence, meditating for blocks of about 1.5 hours to 2.5 hours at a time. I might go into what a Vipassana is in more detail another time. But for now, let's move on to the point that I want to make. Spending a lot of time in solitude and being someone who thinks a lot and still likes to work things out, I feel like I spent a lot of time analysing myself, analysing the world, writing loads in my journals, trying to figure things out that I was genuinely curious about. And one of the observations I made, which is going to sound probably a little bit wild to a lot of people, in fact, I think it sounds wild to me at some level because I'm kind of, I've been hesitant on how I can bring this forward. I thought about, okay, does this need more research? Does this thing need more time? Do I need to try and make this into a book? Is this really life-changing advice or knowledge that I'm about to share? Who knows? Anyway, I think I'm going to explore it more through conversations that I'm hoping to have, through content that I'm going to read or watch in the form of books or lectures or YouTube videos, whatever. But the thing is this, I was sat in my chair, and there's a mother and there's a child ahead of me about, 30 to 40 yards in front of me. And what I do is I feel appreciative towards the mother. And maybe because I have read the book Letting Go by by Dr. David Hawkins, I have a real focus on letting go and the feelings I'm feeling at any given moment. And this is useful information in the point that I'm trying to make, actually, because I'm kind of so conscious and aware of how I feel at any given moment, I note also how I feel, right? So in this moment, I felt how I was feeling. I felt my inner experience change because there was a mother in front of me with her child. So I sent an appreciative, loving signal to the mother in the form of me changing my feeling state. Now, the next thing that happened is something that I've noticed, and it's happened a few times. This is what I'd like to explore more. As soon as I send this loving signal, we could call it that, as soon as I feel the inner experience of myself change, the mother and the child are both facing opposite me. They're facing the other way, okay? So I send this signal to the mother. I'm not thinking consciously, I'm sending a signal to you. I'm just thinking, okay. No, I'm not even thinking really. Well, of course I'm thinking, but to just repeat myself one more time, I feel my inner experience change because I have seen a mother with her offspring, and in me an appreciative feeling, a feeling of love has arisen in my being, okay? So that happens, and in the moment that happens, the moment I have that feeling about that mother, the offspring, who's also not looking in my direction, turns around and eyes lock with mine as if they've acknowledged the loving signal that I just sent the mother. Okay? Now, you can tell when someone's a bit pissed off at you. You can tell when someone's looking at you like, okay, this guy is not understanding what the hell I'm talking about. Or you can tell when a person is just, not feeling your vibe and looks a bit pissed off at you. You can just tell when someone's a bit angry sometimes. This child looked at me in a way that was also loving, in like a way that was like, okay, thank you. You're kind. You're a nice person. Purely because I sent the loving signal to this mother. Okay? So I've painted the picture, guys. I hope that makes sense. Now, let's move on to the bit that I haven't really spoke much about at all, or thought much about, because I kind of wanted to get that point out first. And that point is, from the various spiritual experiences I have had, and what I mean by that is the yoga teacher training that I've done, the 10-day Vipassana, the time I spent in India, the book that I've 3/4 read, which is David Hawkins' Letting Go, The Pathway of Surrender, or To Surrender, I think it's of. Through other forms of content that I've listened to, it's always been a area of life that I am curious about and fascinated by, the way things work on a human level, the way things work with regards to human behavior, life, how the universe works, the world works, whatever, all of that stuff, right? And through all the content that I've consumed and experienced myself, also just one more point there, and through doing things to a level that probably others would feel is quite extreme, like committing to something, choosing to go all into it, and that experience in itself, immersing myself entirely to a cause and watching myself progress, feeling the changes that occur to me and around me, and the happenings that occur through me committing entirely to a cause, and just keep pushing past my perceived barriers. Through all of this, I think there could be a commonality between all human beings, one that we share, and you hear it all the time, one consciousness, we're all one, right? I feel like this could be the case. We all share something deep within us that is, one. We all share something deep within us that is the same, that is, and from this place we are able to communicate with each other, and maybe that isn't through vocal means. Now, I know that sounds immediately like telepathy, and that is actually something I'm kind of exploring at the moment. However, I'm not saying exactly what's the definition of telepathy actually? Let me quickly check. So the meaning of telepathy, the supposed communication of thoughts or ideas by means other than the known senses. Now, what I'm kind of explaining happened here with me and the mother and the child is it a thought or an idea? I guess it is. I mean, I sent a loving signal, so in a way, the offspring, the child, looked back at me, acknowledged that I sent this signal, and acknowledged that I sent a loving thought or idea, right? So I guess this is telepathy in a way, and I'm sure that has red flags for a lot of people. They're like, what the hell are you talking about? Click off the video. This guy's another spiritual wet wipe who hasn't got the time. I haven't got the time of day for it, and that's fine. I'm not really doing this to try and gain anything other than the fact that I feel like it could be a good use of information. It's also something I really want to explore. Anyway, I believe that through the experiences that I've had, we do exist on a field, energy field perhaps, and what I've taken from, for example, David Hawkins, the pathway to surrender, is through letting go, through the technique that he proposes in his book, the book that I just mentioned. You let go of you feel a feeling inside of your body, you actually tap into feeling it, right? You kind of relinquish any thoughts that are going along at the same time as you feeling this feeling. And through not trying to change the feeling or make it any better, make it any better, not making it any better, not making it any worse, we feel the feeling, and eventually it is relinquished. Through feeling these feelings, allowing them to be relinquished, we can increase our level of consciousness. Okay? And through doing this over and over again, we reach the highest state of consciousness, which I believe is enlightenment or peace on his scale, David Hawkins' scale. And at this level of consciousness, what I'm talking about is pretty common knowledge. Now, I'm not suggesting that I am enlightened and peaceful, because apparently that's what you have to say. The people that I've seen on the internet, or anyone in general, to be honest, has to always go, by the way, okay, I'm not saying I'm enlightened. I'm not saying I'm of higher consciousness. Apparently it's like a a thing you have to just make sure you say, okay, who knows if I'm enlightened or not? I'm not sure exactly what it is or what it means. I probably should have done some research before this video. But what I am saying is, I think perhaps the message I got from David Hawkins is through letting go, through raising our levels of consciousness and kind of letting go of all these thoughts and these feelings that we attach ourselves to, we can reach a place where we are, not holding on to any of these things. And what remains? Well, an awareness that we are all connected in a way that I am trying to express as this field of consciousness, this uniting field of energy, right? If this theory is to be true, then what I have observed a few times makes sense, right? I felt this inner feeling of love, and by the way, according to David Hawkins, love is a high level of consciousness, right? So I felt this inner feeling of love, and someone else, another human being who is a human being, right? So sharing this one consciousness that people suggest, has felt this energy go the way of their mother, right? This brings in a whole nother thing that I could talk about, and my friend has mentioned this before to me. I am aware of it, and this brings into conversation a whole different topic, which is how the mother and the child are interconnected. Interconnected or just connected? I think I'm going to go with connected today. The way the mother is sensitive to the child's needs, the way the child is sensitive to the mother's emotions, feelings. And my friend told me something about it, even down to like a really... let's actually look at it. Let's look at that, what she said to me. So my friend said the mother responds... the baby picks up signals from how the mother responds and behaves to everything in her environment, which makes the mother quite responsible. So if mum don't like Jeff, baby gonna grow up not liking Jeff and not knowing why baby don't like Jeff. Okay? So yeah, that's as scientific as we're gonna probably get today. Like I said, guys, that is kind of the point of the video. I just wanted to share that and express that. How that's going to be received, who knows? But it's something that I wanted to express and share with you guys. I do think it could be useful information. I also think it could be something that I want to explore further, and I think I'm going in the direction of exploring that. Following this innate impulse, perhaps you could say, to give birth to this thing inside of me. Now that was a bit poetic, by the way. I don't literally mean give birth. I'm not giving birth. in terms of having a child. However, I am trying to give birth to an idea and a path, an exploration that feels aligned, and to progress in this path, on this path, I feel like I have to express and move in the way that I am starting to move in terms of uploading a video to YouTube, and doing the other things that I'm doing at the moment in terms of creative expression and research, just being as well, the way I'm kind of adapting my personality to bring this thing inside of me forward. So guys, that is kind of the point that I wanted to make. That is to summarize, I sent loving signal to mum. Mum's baby girl looked at me as if she felt the loving signal that I sent mum, and that was something I wrote down immediately. I was like, okay, I've got a notes in my phone called observations, and this was going straight into that. This was like, whoa, okay, that is something I'd like to explore further. Now, if you watch this video and you have any knowledge about this or could explain this in a way that completely goes against anything that I've proposed in this video, please reach out. I'm genuinely curious about what this phenomena could be. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a scientific approach that could explain what I saw. I'd also wouldn't be surprised if some people were like, bro, you probably had about 3 hours sleep that day and you were just hallucinating. And of course, as well, I wouldn't be surprised if there's people who perhaps, I wouldn't be surprised if people have had a similar experience themselves, or they know of knowledge that could explain this through a spiritual lens. So yeah, guys, that's the video. I hope you're all well. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching if you got this far. I really appreciate it. Really enjoy doing these. Just fun to do, man. I like expressing myself. I like putting my foot down on the gas when it comes to this pursuit and being like, yeah, okay, let's see how far we can go. It's kind of what I like to do. I like to live in the extremes, baby. I like to go real ham or not at all. Me playing mediocre games doesn't suit my personality, doesn't suit my natural rhythm. And if you saw my video on Instagram, I spoke about Chris Williamson's most recent newsletter, not most recent, second from most recent newsletter, where he talks about obsession and how you can be disciplined, telling yourself you're going to do it, even when you don't want to do it. You can be motivated, which is wanting to do the thing, but when your mood drops, you ain't going to want to do the thing. Or you can be obsessed, where you can't not do the thing. And I'm following that third one now, I think. I'm following the things that I perhaps try to suppress and ignore and live a more mediocre kind of life. And I'm choosing to pursue it. And what comes from that, I'm unsure. I'm not sure how it's going to be birthed, as I tried to explain earlier. That's what I'm talking about, being born, by the way. This inner stuff, this idea, this calling, if you will. Thank you for being a part of this experience. If you watched it this far, I'd appreciate any feedback, any discussion would be awesome. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos of me speaking to the camera, or any other form of creative expression that might come your way, subscribe and you'll be notified when I next upload. Thank you for getting this far into the video, guys. I hope you're all well, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.